All right, the church bells are ringing. What's the good word, everybody? It's noontime. To hear those church bells in Uptown Park Ridge, it's always a good chime there. And it reminds us now of a new show taking place in Park Ridge, Uptown Park Ridge, called What's the Good Word? I am your host, Dolly McCarthy. I am the publisher, editor of Park Ridge Living magazine, and we are going to be having a conversation today with Jenny Novi, who is the owner of AMADA Senior Care in Niles, but serving the whole Northwest side here. So don't go away. Tune in for that. First, let's say hello to everybody who's joining us live online on Facebook here. We love having you guys join us. And don't forget, you can also make comments, ask questions. Hi, Stephanie. Get your lunches all ready. Jenny, you got your lunch? I know we're splitting a screen here because I'm not very techie savvy just yet. I know Eddie Arana is listening. And Eddie tells me, stop saying that, get a show opening. I'm working on it. The interns are starting this week. Hi, Dolly, good word. Dolly is back. We missed you yesterday. Yes, we had a guest scheduled. Hi, Declan. We had a guest scheduled yesterday, but he had to cancel last minute. And so I ended up not having the show for the first time in 2.5 weeks.
Oh.
So I like consistency, but what can you do? And so I had my interns start this week, so I, treated them to lunch, gave us a good opportunity to get some lunch, something in our bellies, and reward them for all the hard work that I've already been putting them through. So What's the Good Word is a new Facebook Live show brought to you by Park Ridge Living magazine and Be Local Northwest Chicagoland. It's a great show that allows you to have the live experience, if you will, so you can comment in real time and ask questions to our guests. And we did this because we wanted to support local businesses that are going through struggles during the current COVID environment right now. What a time we've been having. It's hard to believe it's been over 2 months now. Pretty amazing how we've all gotten through this. So today I want to welcome to the show again, AMADA Senior Care. AMADA Senior Care. Jenny, I'm looking at your lovely smile. Jenny Novi is with us. And Jenny, we did a video not too long ago. Jenny was singing.
Yes.
She's a great singer. Not only does she is she the owner of AMADA Senior Care North Shore, she has dedicated her life to taking care of seniors professionally and personally. And now her company, she's a lifelong Chicagoan, so I love it, from one Chicago into another.
That's right.
And now with her company, she's helping you, our neighbors, people all on the Northwest side to care for seniors independently and maintain their high quality of life. So we welcome to the show, Jenny Novi. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me on today. What a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure too. It's great to see you, Jenny. Boy, so how have you been the last 2 months?
I would say a little upside down, really. For being a non-medical home care agency, I've never had to learn more about PPE and medical safety and some of the things we're being asked to do because of the limited healthcare workers out there. It's been a great challenge, but hopefully we're rising to it every day.
Yeah, and I want to dive into that and see what has really changed and how you've pivoted and adjusted to this COVID environment. But first, for those of you tuning in, we're talking to AMADA Senior Care North Shore. Jenny Novi is here. Jenny, for those that are not familiar with your company, let's educate them and tell them why you are such a valuable asset in our community, of course.
Well, thank you. Well, I have a master's in gerontology and I have a second master's degree in therapeutic recreation. So I've been working with seniors for over 20 years, creating programs, training staff in long-term care facilities, MI facilities, and more recently, I really saw the need for helping people to be able to live at home successfully. People are living so much longer now than ever anticipated. And so I think this need for maintaining independence and quality of life at home is extremely important. So I started this company in 2017, and here we are today, growing every day, which is really exciting.
Caring for, oh gosh, caring for children is hard. Caring for seniors is just as hard. But I'm always amazed every time I see you, Jenny. You always got a big smile on your face. And so
Listen,
that's a huge asset because
thank
you
you.
want someone positive. And of course, you've got a lot of employees that work for you. By the way, Jenny's doing this call from home because you've got a lot of people in
My
your office,
office was too
right?
busy today, so I thought I better go home because it would be too distracting.
Okay, well, so
Phone would
I appreciate you taking time out of the office for this.
Oh, really, we appreciate being able to talk a little bit about what we're doing, especially in light of when people are thinking of healthcare workers, they're thinking only of those out in the hospitals. And really, my caregivers every day are walking into, what could potentially be a very unsteady or nervous situation, many working in facilities where, there are cases of COVID and they're having to be extremely careful with themselves.
Yeah.
Real heroes.
What are some of the ways that you've had to adjust business? Obviously, or your care, your business care. Obviously, gloves and sanitation are important. But what are some other ways? I mean, it's when you're dealing with seniors too. There are a lot of times they're alone, and you guys have offered always, Jenny, with that smile and that personal touch. I know some of that has had to been put on pause during this because we're not allowed to touch and hug. And I don't know about you, but I'm going crazy over here.
Right. And social isolation can lead to so many medical problems,
Yeah.
right? Depression and all of those things can cause a lot of underlying factors to make someone sick. So some of the things we've been doing, I have an extremely dedicated office staff, and everyone has really taken charge of calling every week. So my staff and I are calling all of our clients every week, checking in. I've tried to do YouTube videos to kind of reach out to everyone at one time, to both the caregivers and the clients, because it's an isolating job, right? When you're going to see someone alone in their home and they're alone and then going home alone. And right now so we're trying to reach out just to spread some joy and cheer and to know that we're here, and virtual smiles and hugs. But we've had to learn a lot. We've had to scrounge for PPE because we're not a hospital or an immediate care center. It's been very difficult in the beginning to find appropriate N95 masks and nitrile gloves. And so we've luckily now have some really good resources for PPE. And even for clients who were buying their own gloves for their home for daily care, we're unable to just, get that through the Walgreens or the CVS anymore. So we really had to start supplying. We're supplying almost 100 people with different types of supplies, week by week. So that's been a big change for us. Just making sure that we have everything we need. And then following all of the CDC new protocols about contact and when it's appropriate to wear a mask and when it isn't. And caregivers now, we do temperature check before they go to work. They have to answer a series of questions about their own health before they can go see anyone else. And we're trying to limit, so if someone's doing in-home care, they would not also have a job with someone who might be in an assisted living or an independent living facility. We are separating in-home care caregivers and those working in facilities so that we're trying to keep germs apart.
Right, good. So what has been the biggest challenge for you thus far?
I think fear, just being able for clients being able to express how they've been very nervous about having someone come in, how they're nervous about even having family visit, and what is right and when is it okay and when isn't it. And to be able to call the doctor when they're sick. People are afraid to say they're not feeling well because they don't want to have to go to a doctor or a hospital for fear of getting sick going to maybe one of those places. And we have to really encourage that communication between the doctor and themselves. But luckily, we've had a lot of avenues for telemedicine, which is making things a lot easier now. But those first few weeks were very difficult.
Yeah. So how has that been working out, the telemedicine?
We have several doctors who are willing. Luckily, caregivers have smartphones. Not all of our seniors have even the capability of the telemedicine. So sometimes our caregivers are utilizing their phones and setting up the telemedicine. Sometimes a family member would have to come over, and then we can supply a mask and gloves for them to come in during that doctor visit. but it's making a difference. I have clients who, you know, are bedbound, who it's very difficult to get out of the house to even see a doctor. And telemedicine, I think, is going to be the wave of the future from all of this. It's really been easy access to seeing a health professional.
Yeah. Take us, Jenny, through a typical day for one of your caregivers. Your
I'd say for my in-home caregivers, we have such wonderful men and women out there working, both CNAs and home health aides. And I would take a case where I have a caregiver might show up at 7 o'clock in the morning, waking the client, helping them out of bed, getting dressed successfully, washing up, grooming, brushing teeth. Then they would help prepare a breakfast, making sure they're taking all of their medicine. If they have diabetes, assisting them with the blood check and blood pressure if necessary, but always just assisting. We're not medical nurses. And then settling down for what is going to be the plan for the day, fitting in exercising, hopefully some socialization, cards, looking at magazines, pictures, just talking, and helping people, you know, with their primary needs, going to the bathroom, those kinds of things.
Oh, that's just so wonderful, and always with a smile. You know,
Well, that we feel lucky that, first of all, that you know, we can still help. We weren't sure if we were going to even be included in an essential business. Some of the facilities were shutting down and not letting caregivers go in, especially into the independent living facilities where we were helping people to maintain their ability to stay in their own apartment. So for a little while, it was very difficult. Now facilities have realized they have to have their caregivers, and so they do their checks before letting anyone in the building, temperature, all of that, and we're able to still help people who are living in different places.
yeah, that's so wonderful to see, and that's one of the things that when I said always smiling, you do when as the leader of AMADA Senior Care North Shore, you know, you set the tone for your workers, and that's so important for people to see that somebody with a happy heart, a smile, who wants to be there and care for these our seniors is there. It's very comforting to know, because they're our treasure and we have to take care of each other, right? And I can't think of anybody better than Jenny Novia at Amada Senior Care North Shore, that's for sure. So how can people, we're talking to Jenny Novi, the owner of Amada Senior Care North Shore. If you're just tuning in, we welcome you to What's the Good Word. Jenny, did I ask you what's the good word today? Did I ask
you what's the good word? I'm going to say a little sunshine after all these days of rain.
How about it, right? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Is the weather been a factor with your clients? Are they how are they taking it? It's
just with some basements flooding, right? Everybody's basements were flooding, so we had a couple of clients that we've had to help secure some.
And you help them. You help them.
Oh yes, anything we can do to make anyone's life easier, that is our goal, right?
So,
get into the
great.
store. Even clients who maybe stopped service because they didn't have such a need, we're offering to pick up groceries or supplies for them so that people are able to stay home safely.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Really wonderful, Jenny. Okay, so if you have any questions for Jenny, I'm going to check our Facebook. I'll take a glance over here at Facebook. Chrissy Hickey says hi. John Tremley, hi. Great show today. So people are enjoying this information, Jenny. We want to do a shout out to our healthcare workers, which Jenny, you mentioned it in the beginning. That includes your crew as well, because you're putting yourself in a situation that you really don't know. You know, you're like on the front lines. You really are. So we want to do a shout out to our healthcare workers that are getting up and going to battle for us. And tonight and our firefighters, our first responders, and our police officers too. And tonight, by the way, Jenny, I think you know about this. Park Ridge Living, we had organized an initiative to support and show our support, not just with our words, but in action. Every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, I'm holding up a lunch bag. It looks like a lunch bag, right? But it's actually a luminary. It's filled with sand and a candle in there. You can see these are luminaries. You probably recognize them around the holidays, right? But we're putting them out every Wednesday night around Park Ridge. In fact, the city of Niles heard about us doing this, and they've adopted this, and a lot of people in Niles are doing it. And it's great to see this support and prayers and thoughts going out to our healthcare workers, including those at AMADA Senior Care over there in Niles with Jenny.
That's wonderful. Great way to show support.
Feel free to come by 132 South Prospect, our office is here, and pick up a free luminary. They're free, by the way. So we encourage you to do that. And when you come, the first 50 people that come, speaking of what's the good word, Jenny said sunshine. I couldn't agree with her more, but we do have Park Ridge Living mugs, new. And what's the good word here in the land of Lincoln? We have Lincoln. Whatever you are, be a good one. That's right. Whatever you are, be a good one. So with Jenny Novi and AMADA Senior Care in North Shore, you know, they're there taking care of your families, your elderly parents, and they're being good at it. You're being a good one, Jenny.
Thank you. We're trying.
Okay, so what does your future look like? You've probably spent many nights like me up at night going, gosh, you know, everything has changed. So much has changed. And I don't think we're ever really going back to that. I think we're going to go back to hugs and touching, hopefully someday.
Oh gosh, I hope so, right?
There's a lot that has changed and a lot still to come that we don't know about. What are you thinking is going to happen in the future? Where do you see AMADA Care in the future?
I think for our seniors, especially, you know, having to be so much more careful about where they're going and who they're coming in contact with, and especially anyone with any underlying issues, especially we're seeing, you know, with respiratory issues or diabetes, that people are just going to have to be their own advocates, that they're going to have to feel that it's okay to say, you know, I no hugging today, no handshaking today, and that's okay, right? Because that acceptable norm has really changed. And I see for us, people probably taking stock of figuring out how they can get some help and how they can afford to do that. Do they have long-term care insurance? Can they qualify for VA benefits? Are those things they need to start planning for and start having those conversations with your folks, right? Who don't maybe need help right now, but have a plan for the future and right. how you can stay safe and stay home, you know, if that's your goal, or find that great independent living facility that you plan to go to one day so that you're not making decisions in emergencies.
Yeah, that's really good advice to, you know, a lot of us have parents that are getting up there in age and they're home and they're fine, but it's like you said, Jenny, a great time now to take that time and opportunity to talk to your parents about their long-term care.
Yes.
And before they get to a senior living facility.
Yes.
Considering a service like yours.
And it's not always an easy conversation to have, right? Because people feel, oh, I'm not that old yet, right? But things happen, and even health issues can happen where it might not be anything to do with your age, but your health, and then you may need to have some kind of support. And what do you see that looking like if you needed to have that support? Where do you want that to happen? Who do you want that to be with? It's great to plan ahead.
Good advice. Absolutely good advice. What do you enjoy most about what you do, Jenny?
Oh my gosh, the stories. I meet people that fascinate me every day. And some of my clients are almost 100 and they have lived through I know, and they have lived through so many different historical things that have happened in life, and to hear from their perspective of just their families and how they grew up and what their life was like. It's such a blessing to be able to be invited into other people's lives like that.
Oh, love that. That's wonderful. All right, Jenny, we've all been in quarantine at some point or another, stuck at home. I think the first 2 weeks were probably most of us like that. What was your favorite quarantine memory or activity with your family? You've got little ones at home still, right?
Well, I'd like to think they're little, but my youngest is a sophomore in high school. Then I have a junior in high school. I have a freshman in college who's home with me. And then I have a 21-year-old daughter who's a junior in college, and she's still in Boston. Okay. So 3 of the 4 are home.
Same. We're about the same. I still consider them my littles until they're in an apartment. And they're
I
paying
know.
their own rent. They're still my littles, right? So what has been a fun quarantine activity or?
I think we're going to have for dinner every night is hilarious, right? Because my husband and I are both essential workers. We're still working, so it's been a, what are you helping make? So my son has been grilling a bunch for us, which has been fantastic, and just really sitting down and eating together has been wonderful, and having a little extra time. You don't have to rush off to activities, and you don't have to rush to do something. I've really, really enjoyed having my kids home for this. I'm not sure they so much enjoy it, but I enjoy it. And I miss my one daughter who's been in Boston this whole time. So we talk a lot on the phone now, which has been really great too.
Oh, that's awesome. Wonderful. Well, it's been so wonderful talking to you and learning more about AMADA Senior Care North Shore. Jenny Novi, great to have you on the program, really.
Oh,
And keep doing what you're doing. Keep smiling out there, as I hear a lot. People that
thank
smile,
you.
they
Thank
change
you
the
so
world.
much for doing this too, for small businesses and to help people spread their word about what they're doing out there. Thank you so much, Dolly.
We all got to do our part. I always say take care of each other. We got to take care
Mhm.
of each other. Speaking of taking care of each other, if you want more information about AMADA Senior Care North Shore, Jenny Novi can take care of you. That's for sure. Jenny, why don't we mention some of the ways that they can reach out to you? She's on Facebook and Instagram. For
Facebook
sure.
and Instagram. I also have a web page. It's www.amadanorthshore.com. And
Okay.
that's a great way to see all the services we can provide. My phone number is on there. I'm in Niles.
All right.
Stop by our office. We'll
Excellent.
have a mask waiting for you.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to read a few comments on Facebook for you, Jenny, while we are live. Ed says, "Hey, Jenny, how is everybody doing?" And I'm reading this live, cold too. I don't know what he said. And hope you're staying healthy. Great to see. Always smiling and making my day shine. Cute. Jenny, thank you for taking care of the seniors. How is the quarantine going with seniors you're taking care of? We did talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, good. I think good. I think we're in a rhythm of being safe.
Thank you, Michael, for tuning in. Tim Wagner, Ed Zamora, and let's see who else is on. Lita, Stephanie, Scott. Scott is a comedian in Park Ridge. Scott Castellanos. If you have not heard of him, you guys should check him out too. He's keeping everybody smiling over there.
He's so funny.
Michael, John Foley. Really, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Hey, so now that I have your attention, please do like AMADA Senior Care.
Yeah.
Tell your friends about it and share this interview, because you never know who's out there that might need some assistance, and a good quality company that we could recommend to them is important. If you do that, by the way, if you do that, you do get a reward. I don't do anything unless you're rewarded, right? I don't do anything for people. I don't make you do things unless I'm going to reward you, right? So Elemental Float and Cryotherapy in Uptown Park Ridge has offered free floating and a cryotherapy session. And F45 training, a new training and workout facility in Park Ridge on the west end of town, is offering 1 free week of workouts. That's pretty awesome right there. And we have other goodies that we'll announce throughout the week. But you got to do this now. Share it, like Jenny on AMADA Senior Care on Facebook and Instagram. Check out their website too while you're at it, and share this interview, guys. Please do. Jenny, we're gonna be smiling so they share. Come on. And Jenny, before we close, I'm gonna ask you to do something. You know.
Uh-oh.
So hang in there, everybody, and please do share. And then I will enter you into a drawing, and on Friday afternoon we will announce the winner. Last week, Stephanie Athens won. She won Elemental Float and Cryotherapy. Hey, Joanna's tuning in now, and she won the automatic. Oh, I forget the name of it, from Home Comfort Services. The automatic thermometer, not thermometer.
Oh.
Temperature. What do they call that? Thermostat. Hello, a thermostat, so she can run it from her smartphone. How cool is that? So we have a lot of great prizes to give away to reward you guys for spreading the good word. What's the good word? If you haven't told me yet, please make a comment on our Facebook page. Thank you. Yeah, someone's congratulating Stephanie. You are listening to us. I want So we really thank you, Jenny Novi, for stopping by, and keep up the good work with what you're doing. Um, and best to you, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Do you want to leave us with a little song? Jenny,
Oh,
a few weeks ago, and Jenny did
uh,
a wonderful song, and it just lifted my spirits. It was so sweet. And everybody that saw it commented. They're like, that woman that was singing was great. And I go, do you
oh, thank you so much. Well, I taped a mass this morning, and the last song was "America the Beautiful," so that's it. That's in my brain, and we're
okay,
lucky to be Americans.
Jenny Novi, take it away.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Fantastic.
That was really off the cuff, so.
Yes. Yes. Jenny, love listening to you. That's what Karen Shield says. Father Stan says, always great to see you. Okay, listen, you know what? It's been a great show. Thank you so much, Jenny. What a beautiful voice.
Thank you, Dolly.
Our day for bringing some sunshine on the show. So, and thanks for everybody for tuning in to What's the Good Word. Tune in tomorrow at noon for another edition. We'll be with TUI Animal Hospital and some of the veterinarians there. So prepare some questions for them. But we're really glad to have gotten an update from Jenny Novi at AMADA Senior Care North Shore. Thanks again, Jenny.
Thanks, Dolly. Have a great day.
You too. Have a great day too. Be well, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. So long.